On this episode of Still Loading, it's me, Mario. Alright, now that bad impression is aside, let's get into today's game. Into today's game. Today's game is the original Mario Brothers for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, I'm kind of going to go way off the cuff with this one, because there's not a lot to talk about with this. It is just the original Mario Brothers game. That's it. You play as Mario, or Luigi if you're playing two-player, and you have little, I guess they were Koopas. I don't know what they called them back then, but the little turtles coming out of the pipes, you hit it from underneath to flip them upside down, and you kick them, and then you go on to the next level. That's the game. Not a lot to talk about with it, but this is the 40 for 40 series, so regardless of how much there is to talk about a game, I am dedicated to continuing to do the series, regardless of how pointless it is to cover a game that has very little content in it. I did no research whatsoever to see about the history of this game. I guess if you want to think about it, Miyamoto designed it originally. Did he? Actually, you know what? I don't even know about that. And I just looked it up, and yes, he did. He did design it. It was originally released in 1983, and it was developed by Nintendo R&D, or Research and Development 1. Like I said, Miyamoto created it. And it's a normal game. It's just what, started the whole Super Mario franchise eventually. And I wish I could say more about it than that. And don't worry, there's gonna be more to talk about in this episode, but as of now, there's just not much to say for this specific game. The box art is very basic. It's got the Nintendo Mario Brothers, the original Mario Bros. Arcade Classic Series Nintendo Entertainment System. Got a little space background, and then you see a close-up of the pixels of Mario jumping and a little turtle and a pipe. The back of the box says, you'll need lightning-fast reactions to get out of this pipeline adventure alive. Mario and Luigi are doing some underground plumbing when all sorts of weird creatures come flying out of the pipes. Turtles, crabs, even fighter flies. It was weird. Turtles, crabs, even fighter flies attack the helpless Mario Brothers. It's up to you to kick, punch, and knock out these sewer pests before time runs out. But beware, just when you think you've got rid of them, they come back for more. Play against a computer or with a friend. Either way, this is one underground classic you'll want to play time and time again. And I do not want to play this time and time again. I'm just saying that right now. Not because Mario Brothers, revolutionized everything, but you kind of, as you get used to newer games, arcade games aren't always as interesting, especially if you didn't grow up going to an arcade. And unfortunately, there was no arcade near me growing up, so I didn't get to play a lot of these. My introduction to video games was consoles, so playing in the arcade, while I would still love to go do, it's not something that I want to do at home. Like, the arcade experience is meant for the arcade, not really at home. And with that in mind as well, the controls on this were shit. They were so floaty, you felt like constantly, like every level was the ice level. Every time you would let go of the motion, the D-pad, the directional pad, the Mario would still take a couple more strides. And it was very hard to actually get any kind of idea. I would have to play a lot more than what I did. I literally played 5 minutes and I said, well, I know what this game's like, let's move on. So there's, unfortunately, really not a lot to talk about with it. Controls are kind of floaty, at least the NES version. I did not get to play the original arcade cabinet, so I can't comment on that to see if there's any differences in it. But overall, I honestly do not recommend this port. It is not fun. If you really want to, just go, don't buy this copy of it. Don't buy a physical copy of this. I don't normally recommend this, but this game is not worth the money for the NES. I would pay good money to get an arcade cabinet of it, because that'd be fucking awesome. But I don't, on the NES, I mean, maybe I'm wrong with this. I mean, maybe this is a much better port than I think it is. For those who do like this, please write in and tell me why you loved it, because this is just my experience. I didn't grow up with it, so maybe it's not. I'm not looking through it through the rose-colored glasses of nostalgia to see why it's such a great game. But overall, I keep saying overall, but in all honesty, it was not my favorite. So knowing this, and knowing that I really would not have a lot of time to talk about, not a lot of time, I have plenty of time, but not a lot of stuff to cover. I didn't want this to be a short 5-minute podcast with a 4-minute song. I wanted to at least, try to get something else with it. So what I wanted to talk about today, besides the original Mario Brothers, is gaming snacks and gaming food, let's say, not just snacks, because I don't really snack as much as I do anymore. But what I will do is I have specific foods, and so all of you can remember that growing up, or even if you're an adult and you still haven't grown up yet, but you have your foods of choice for when you're going to sit down and play a game, and they can't be anything too messy, because you got to pick up that controller, unless you're a complete fucking slob, all right, and you don't mind getting fucking hot sauce and fucking whatever the hell you're eating, crumbs all over your controller. What are you, savage? I mean, come on. That's not how it's done. You got to make sure you got to pick the right things. Either that, if you do have messy food, you got to be strategic with it. You know what I'm saying? You got to have maybe some paper towels and napkins sitting close by so you can, wipe that shit off. But no, I want to talk about my foods of choice. I know this is kind of a weird off-topic thing, but I didn't have much to go with, and I'm feeling goofy today. So I said, fuck it. Let's just go for it and just talk about food that I play. Well, it is video game related. Foods that I enjoy when I'm about to go sit down and play a game. Now, it depends on the type of game experience you're getting. Your food selection has to be dependent on what game you're playing, because say you're playing a Mario game or some type of action game or platformer, you don't really want any messy food. Something that you want something that's easy to pick up and put down quick. So my suggestion for that, of course, drinks, we'll talk about drinks later, but finger foods like little pretzels, or crackers, or candy if you have a sweet tooth type of thing, or if you're just craving that sugar. But small things that you can just pop into your mouth and just chomp on, or chips are a good one, but those are a little messy. I definitely, you got some paper towels and napkins around there. So make sure that you wipe off the salt as well as the grease that are on those chips. Your fingers get greasy. Don't. I mean, you got to be careful with that. I mean, you don't want to grease up your controller. It gets all gross and it smells bad later on. Anyway, I digress. But like I said, action games, you need finger foods, because you can't be eating I live in the Philly area, so we call them hoagies, but submarine sandwiches. I know some places call them grinders. I don't know whatever you call it. You don't want one of my personal favorite foods are subs, or hoagies as we call it in our area. And I couldn't eat that shit while I'm playing an action game. You gotta be focused on the screen at whatever enemies are thrown at you or being thrown at you. You never know. So fingers foods, definitely your best option there, because like I said, you gotta have quick reflexes. So you don't want to have something where you need to grip it with 2 hands to eat. Same thing with other stuff. Wings, definitely not. Pizza, you could probably one-hand a slice if you want to. Sorry, this is just ridiculous to me, but I'm having fun with this. You could probably one-hand a slice while you're playing a game, but realistically, it's not quite the best option. Now, on the other hand, if you're playing RPGs or something that's a little bit slower paced, turn-based strategy games, RPGs or JRPGs, or even some of those slow life simulator games, like I've said, you've seen on Instagram a bunch. I've been playing Stardew Valley to hell and back. Also other games, Harvest Moon, Animal Crossing, stuff like that. You could probably, games where it doesn't require anything, it doesn't break up the flow. You can either pause it, or there's no real time limit, so you can just take your time, enjoy it. Those are the right times, right types of games to have more messy kinds of food. Hot wings. If you like wings, I know not everyone does. I love them. I'm a man of simple tastes, but or boy, I don't know how old I am anymore. But wings and hoagies / subs, pizza. Those are my personal favorite gaming foods. Unfortunately, those are the only foods I like in real life anyway. So I guess my gaming foods kind of bleed into all my regular meals because I eat very poorly. I'm amazed I'm not completely out of shape, but neither here nor there. But even other foods that you would like, like if you want to say you have burgers, say you have I don't know, nachos and salsa. Does anyone else? I've eaten that while playing a game before. I don't know. I remember. No, I don't know. I remember the most, in a weird way, it's weird how food connects you to, like, random memories. Like, when I was in high school, I remember I was hooked on the show Inuyasha, which is an anime for those who haven't seen it. It's pretty good. I mean, I didn't see the ending, and I've heard bad things, but neither here nor there. I'd come home from school every day and get a bowl of nachos and salsa and just eat it. So that, whenever I talk about that, it always kind of brings me out to there. But I know I'm kind of going all over the place, but hopefully this is somewhat enjoyable, just talking about food and gaming. But no, to bring it back, like, nachos and salsa are a little messy, so it would be a little bit better for an RPG. And like I said, you need to make sure, no matter what game you're playing, shitloads of napkins and paper towels, or wet wipes if you really want to get, that extra layer of sticky off your fingertips. Sorry, I'm just making myself laugh with the ridiculousness of this conversation that I'm having with myself in my game room, but neither here nor there. No, so I definitely suggest messier foods are better for RPGs. Now, sports games, you could do a little bit of both. If you want the stereotypical sports foods, pizza, wings, and fries, and all the stuff that you see at sports bars, and all the over masculine bros being like, "What's up?" and eating that kind of shit. That would work. I mean, but also sports teams, you could be tactful with it. You could have full-on meals if you wanted to. In all honesty, I would love to be able to sit down and just have a nice steak with a game. Sorry. It makes it sound like you pair it together, like steak and potatoes, or like some wine and cheese or something like that. This is a steak and a game. I don't know what game I'd pair it with, but steak and a game. That should, oh my god, that's a new podcast right there. Steak in a game, where you eat a steak while trying to play a video game. I'm fucking all over that. Copyright me. Still loading. I don't know if I'm actually going to do that, but that would be really freaking funny. Just steak and games. I'm 100% sold. That just came to me right now. I'm really happy with that. But no, so I guess the moral of this is to pick your foods wisely. Pick your snacks and meals of choice while gaming wisely, because depending on the game and depending on the messiness level of said food, could really have one, major wear and tear on your controllers. 2, some problems with the gameplay. You don't know if it's going to be distracting or interrupt you or anything. So you got to pick and choose. Now, I know I probably only mentioned about 5 different foods because, like I said before, I'm a man/boy of simple tastes, and I'm a picky eater, which is not good because my fiance, she loves to eat all kinds of stuff, and she makes me try things, and they're to varying degrees of success. So all my options are really simplistic things that only I like. So I would like to, if anyone even is found this amusing, please reach out to me. What is your gaming food of choice? What is your gaming snack of choice? What do you enjoy to eat while playing? Or drink. I didn't even touch about the drinks. My big thing is either water or Mountain Dew. Water because it makes me feel guilty when I drink too much Mountain Dew, and Mountain Dew every other time. So not much more to talk about that. It's so stereotypical, I know. Mountain Dew and video games, but I can't help it. I love it. I love the dew. But to bring it back to what I was talking about right before the drinks, what drinks of choice do you guys have? What do you enjoy to drink and eat while playing video games? Reach out to me at StillLoadingPod on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. You can also reach me at StillLoadingContact@gmail.com if you'd like to shoot me an email. I'm always willing to respond. Hopefully you found this interesting. I'd actually really like some feedback on this random tangent of an episode about gaming food. Excuse me. Maybe that's telling me that little stomach thing was telling me that I have to eat soon. But hopefully, if you guys liked it, let me know. If not, I won't do this again. This was literally just completely off the cuff and random. After I finished playing Mario, I was like, I have no idea what the hell to talk about next. So I just winged it. And I actually had a ton of fun with this. Just bullshitting. And maybe there's a lot of circular talk, and maybe there's a lot of ums and ahs, but I don't really do a lot of editing because I like to have it be more like authentic, I guess. I don't know how to really describe it. But if you guys liked it, let me know. If it was good, but there's too much ums, ahs, and pauses and all that shit, yeah, just let me know. Like, I will actually edit some of these a little bit better than I normally do. There's a couple things I gotta take out of this one, but in general, this is going to be exactly as you heard it, just off the cuff. And I'm telling you, Stakes and Games, man, that's gotta be something coming up. So, in any case, thank you all for listening. Once again, please reach out to me at StillLoadingPod on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Please rate, review, and subscribe to the show on iTunes, especially on iTunes. The more times you rate and you leave reviews, one, it lets me know what you think of it. Two, it gets the name of the podcast out there. Hope you all enjoyed this episode, and I will see you all next time.